Hello, I am Dominick Corso. I have vascular Ehlers-Danlos, or vEDS, or type 4. I call it vEDS these days. Um, I am 46 years old, although I do consider myself something of a vEDS baby. I stole that term from someone else, but I'm kind of a vEDS newbie in that I just found out about my vEDS diagnosis in February of last year, February 2020. And that was after an emergency surgery in November of 2019. And part of the vEDS journey or the vEDS challenge for me over the last year and a half has really been trying to find my words, find my language, or find how to communicate with people exactly what vEDS is and what it means to me and how it's changed me. And I find it incredibly difficult to do. I find it very painstaking to try and find the words and articulate myself. So I appreciate the opportunity to try and do that here. And if you'll bear with me, I'll do my best. But I find myself asking, how do I explain? I have vEDS. How do I tell somebody that something is so drastic and so life-threatening? Something that for 44 years of my life never manifested itself and never caused really any impact on my life. It was of no incident. How do I articulate that I didn't do anything to deserve this? I was born with this. This is a genetic mutation. I am de novo. I am the first one. It just happened. I don't know how to find those words to drop that bomb, to tell people that vEDS almost killed me. It maybe will. I don't know how to share these things. These are words that I struggle to find. But what can I say? I know that vEDS has a definition I'll share with you. It's a connectivity tissue disorder where our collagen's been compromised. And in vascular patients, it particularly affects the aortic and the vascular tree, as well as having some risk to the hollow organs, which is pretty much everything. So like GI, liver, spleen, and there's more. But I do also struggle to find the words to say there's good news. I have good news. I survived my event. That's a really great thing. I survived my emergency event. Later testing also showed that I have what's called the null variant for vascular Ehlers-Danlos. Now, on a scale of severity, the null variant falls on the side of less severe. So I am supposed to have later life onset, which I had, lower chances of GI issues, and longer life expectancy. So I've got that going for me. But I should back up first and maybe explain a little bit more about what a null diagnosis has meant for me, especially over the last 2 years, and maybe even a little bit before, because last year's imaging showed that I did actually have a dissection when I was about 39 years old. That was like a lightning bolt in my chest, and I was floored. I was literally on the floor. I did not go to the hospital. So I had a job interview the next day, so I muscled my way through it. And yes, I'm bragging about a dissection. But it was 5 years later that I was floored again, literally floored again with the pain from the 3 aneurysms. And that's what took me to the hospital in November of 2019. After that aneurysm repair, then in August of 2020, I had a spontaneous peritoneal bleed. I was just bleeding on the inside. They didn't know why and they didn't know where. But that's been vEDS for me. Now in the last year, just about almost a year, I've had no incident and I've been very healthy. And I feel very good. So I feel lucky. I feel really lucky, but that was my null variant and that's kind of how it's manifested for me. And I'm not trying to just be blindly optimistic. I am optimistic, but I'm not a true optimist. I hear people talk and say, I don't let vEDS rule my life. I don't think about vEDS every day. I admire those people. I'm trying to get there, but I am not there. vEDS rules my life. I do think about it, not every day. I'm getting a little better there, but it is definitely top of mind quite often. And I don't know how to articulate that all the time. So if you see me wandering in thoughts sometimes, perhaps it's that fear on my mind. But I don't know that being optimistic really is the goal for a vEDS patient. We really do need to be hyper aware and hyper vigilant. We need to be thinking about what could land us in the hospital. What is an emergency? We need to take care of ourselves, and we have to be smart. So being the optimist and ignoring the problems is really not the path. What we need to do is be aware and be smart and still live our lives. So while I claim to not be an optimist, I am a realist. And I think that's really where the community has come into such play for me. And it's been such a huge resource to me. The vEDS community is something that I've drawn on since about 2 months after my diagnosis. That was 2 months of despair, trying to go through it on my own. But I needed more. I needed people who had been through it, who were working through it. And that's when I found the vEDS community calls and joined. And I would say that listening to these people for the first time, there's an immediate connection, or at least an immediate understanding. And sometimes I have enough energy to share and really get a load off my chest. And some days I just have enough energy to listen. And either way, I do feel that I benefit from that presence greatly. But it is a strategy, and I do encourage everyone to find their strategy. My strategies include that community. It also includes faith and family. I have a family with their undying support and love, and I have a faith that's growing stronger and stronger every day and helping me be gracious for what I have and look beyond some of that fear and that doubt. And without that strategy and without the community, I don't know where I'd be. But I'm optimistic as I see people doing and getting better and learning how to communicate and learning how to live fuller and richer lives with vEDS. And I'm looking to do better myself. Thank you for sharing some of your time and listening to my story.